Hello, I'm Drake. Welcome to Working Dragon Mystic, where we discuss real, metaphysical, and occult knowledge so that you can manifest real and tangible results in your life. This week, we're going to continue our series on dragon magic. We're going to talk about how you can begin to attract your own guardian dragon to work with you. So stay tuned. Okay, so this week we're going to continue our dragon magic series. And we're going to do so by talking about guardian dragons. First off, what are they? And then how can you go about actually attracting a guardian dragon to work with you? Well, first off, let's start with what a guardian dragon is, because there are some misconceptions here. Now, I've often wondered if guardian is actually the best name for this, and I have asked if there would be a different terminology I could use. So far, I've not gotten any other terminologies that the dragons are okay with me using. So, we're going to go ahead with guardian dragon until they give me another word. And that may never happen. So, when we hear the word guardian, we think strictly of a protector. Someone who's always watching over us, kind of our own personal bodyguard. And it is true, guardian dragons make great protectors, and they are very fierce and loyal to the magician, as long as the relationship stays good. And they will have your back through thick and thin. However, they're not just a guardian angel protector kind of thing. First off, this should be a genuine friendship that you have with them. You should really get to know them. And they're very playful. In a lot of ways, they kind of remind me of a very loyal dog. And I'm not talking about the kind of dog you look at as a pet. I'm talking about a dog that, in every shape, form, or fashion, it's a member of the family. And you wouldn't question that. And you couldn't even comprehend putting that into a pet category. Now, clearly, dragons do show high intelligence, and they can even communicate with you. So perhaps the dog analogy isn't the best, but it does kind of give us an idea of what I'm talking about. Now, like I said, they are protective, and they will keep your house clear of all kinds of astral nasties. But that said, they also act as guides. They help you with your path. Because these are some of the first dragons you're really going to bond with. Even though you do have to make contact with those elemental rulers through the Dragon's Flame ritual that we talked about last week. And I'll go ahead and make sure to link that above. These are the first dragons you really start to bond with, because they have to pick you. You can't just call one of these dragons up and be like, hey, I want you to work with me. They won't do it. It don't work that way. And when we get to the ritual, you'll see that. And it can take some time to actually find one to work with you. I know dragon magicians who have spent months looking for a guardian dragon before they have actually found one that wants to work with them. And then there are some that they do it within the first 2 or 3 tries of the ritual. It just depends. Now, I did say as long as the relationship is good, and that's because, just like all dragons, they're not going to work with you because you're a magician. They're not going to work with you because you've just done some ritual to call them. They require an actual friendship or working relationship at the very least with you. So you have to treat them with respect. You have to treat them with honor. You have to treat them with loyalty, and you have to be honest with them. And if you do any of these things to harm that relationship, you're going to run into problems. So you really have to be a good, honest, upright person when you're dealing with these entities. And you have to treat them like friends, and you can't lie to them. So as long as you do those things, you're good to go. And they will help you. Now, guardian dragons, like I said, they work as guides, so they will help you through other meditations And you actually have to have a guardian dragon in order to find what is often referred to as a co-magician, where this is the dragon that is going to be the most responsible for helping you and teach you. But you have to find that guardian dragon first before you can start looking for a co-magician. Now, one of the reasons for this is guardian dragons are actually pretty small dragons, and because of that, they're young. And being younger dragons, part of their training is they actually have to get to know and understand humans and take part in the human world, and they do that by helping us. Now, when you contact your guardian dragon, you may want to know what element this dragon belongs to. I can answer that real simple. It doesn't. Dragons can shift their elemental properties based upon where they're working and what they're doing. They're not born to a specific element. So you can actually have a fire dragon who decides it wishes to work in another element, and it will energetically shift in all shapes, forms, and fashions to become what you would think a, let's say, water dragon would be. So a guardian dragon actually does not belong to one single element. And that's because they have to be extremely versatile to do the job that a guardian is expected to do. So it's a guardian dragon. It doesn't belong to one of the elements. In fact, it's tied into all the elements on some level in some degree. Now, in my research and everything, as they grow older, once they get to a certain age where they're no longer guardians, it is at that point they will choose another line of specialty, and they might move into one element or to another position, but it'll usually fall under one of those elements. Now, that said, guardian dragons also help us with spell work, and it can be any spell work, and sometimes they'll assist you without you even asking, and they will anytime you sit down to do a ritual. If they feel they can help, they're going to add their own power to it. So just by having a guardian dragon, you're already going to start ramping up your magic. And that's even if you don't do the ritual of the flame. It can be anything. I've had my guardian dragons help me in rituals with the Tree of Life, the Dark Tree, doing Norse magic. So all these different things they've helped me with, whether or not I was using the ritual of the flames that we went over. That said, if you ask them straight up to help you, they love it. They absolutely love it. And they will do it. They will help you with any work that you're doing. And they may even help advise you in ways that you can get better results out of the working you're doing if you want to consult with them before you do the working. I actually do recommend that. So they're almost like a teacher's assistant, if you want to think of them that way when it comes to magic, and they are like a assistant in the ritual themselves because they will add their power to your working. And even though they're young, that is not to be underestimated. Even these small dragons are quite potent and quite powerful, so don't overlook the potential that they can bring to your ritual. Now, it is not uncommon for guardian dragons to have smaller dragons around them at all times. And it kind of shifts out. It won't always be the same ones. And it's almost like they're pulling double duty between babysitting and helping you. So the smaller, really small dragons, they'll tend to keep an eye on and whatnot. And so just be aware that you may see a lot of smaller dragons around them. But for the most part, this won't cause any issues, and everything will be okay. Now, when you approach a guardian dragon in the ritual or in the meditation version, which we'll be talking about, and when you actually do find the guardian dragon that wants to work with you, one thing you will notice, you might notice, there is always and I do mean always, there's no exception to that rule, a much, much older and much larger dragon. And its entire job is to ensure the safety of the younger dragon. It's that simple. It won't interfere as long as you're treating the dragon well, you're being respectful, you're being a good friend and ally. It won't interfere in any shape, form, or fashion. Its job is to only keep an eye on that guardian dragon and make sure it's okay in its duties. So just be aware of that. You may not ever sense that dragon's presence. That's not unusual, but if you do, don't be surprised because, yeah, there's always going to be one there somewhere. Okay, now with that, there are two main ways that I've been taught that you can go about finding your guardian dragon. One is through a guided meditation of sorts. Now that particular ritual can be found in some books and whatnot. I know in DJ Conway's books, she actually has a very long, drawn-out guided meditation that can work. In fact, that's the first ritual I used. That said, however, you can do just a traditional ritual without the guided meditation. And that's actually the one we're going to be going over in this video. If you all would like to try the guided meditation version, let me know and I'll try and see if I can get a custom guided meditation recorded and put up onto the YouTube channel for you all. But for now, we're just going to focus on this one. Now, first off, just to keep it simple, I got some notes here, but you're going to want to start this by doing the Dragon Flame ritual. And after you do the Dragon Flame ritual, take, let's say, 3 minutes or so to draw that draconic energy in through meditation like we spoke about in the previous video. Now, at that point, you're actually going to want to call out to the elemental rulers that you've already called to set up the Dragon Flame ritual space. So an example of this would be, Draconic rulers of the elements, I come here seeking to meet a guardian dragon to work with as an ally and a friend. A simple call that is that easy. It is at that point you will start to meditate and you'll listen. And what's going to happen is you're going to feel one or more presences in the room. And this is actually dragons that you've piqued their interest. Now, the great thing about doing this with the Dragon Flame ritual that we went over, the elemental rulers are actually going to help send out a vibration to any dragon that is willing to be a guardian. Now, once you feel those presence in the room, you want to greet them. Just say hello and state your intent, which is, again, you are seeking a guardian dragon to work with as an ally and a friend. At this point, you may get a response or questions of a dragon or even a few dragons that might be interested in this. And they're going to start asking you questions about where you see your path going, what are your interests of study, what is it you're seeking in dragon magic, why do you walk this path. Now answer all these questions that they present to you honestly, because this is going to allow them to know if they actually are a guardian dragon that would best suit your practice. So, for example, if you wish to walk this path to focus on healing, say that. Because there are guardian dragons that would rather focus on healing than other magics. So these questions are to help you find a dragon that matches you and the pursuits that you have. Okay? Now, that said, if you honestly want to focus on black magic, left-hand path, and all that, as we've talked about, dragons really don't care about left and right-hand path. But do tell them the types of magic that you want to focus on. Because if you're honest with them, you will get a dragon that can help you. So, for example, I know practitioners out there who will not work with demons. They'll work with angels, they'll work with deities, but they do not want to work with demons in any way. Tell them that. Let them know that. On the other hand, I know practitioners who they grew up and they had a bad religious experience. So angels are not something they're comfortable with on any level. You also need to communicate that. If your only interest is in evocation and working with demons, let them know that. Because that is something that dragon magic, that's the beauty of it. It can go across all those lines. And you can utilize dragon magic to help you further the practice of other forms of magic. But you have to be honest with them. And it's that honesty that's going to really be important. Because again, you're trying to make a friend and an ally. And one of the things that these little guardian dragons are going to be doing is they're going to see if you're telling them the truth. And even at such a young age, they can already look right through you. And they will know if you're lying to them. So don't do it. Because that's only going to make it harder to find a guardian dragon to work with you. Now, this question and answer process is one of the reasons it takes so long to find a guardian dragon sometimes. Every time you do this ritual, at least one or two guardian dragons will answer. And your first time through, you may find one. Now, if you find one that seems to be interested in working with you, introduce yourself to it. Whether you use your name or your magical name, whatever name it is you used, just introduce yourself as you would anyone else and ask them if you may have their name. At that point, if the guardian dragon wants to work with you, they will likely give you their name. It's rare that the guardian dragon will not give you a name at that point to refer to it as. Now, I did say it really is kind of, the ritual's that simple because you're spending all that time in meditation. Now, the only difference between this and the guided meditation version is the guided meditation, instead of just calling out, you actually go through a visualization exercise and guided meditation where you're going through some natural environment like a forest or a canyon, and you come to rest and sit down in a clearing. Now at that point you begin to look around and you send out an energetic thought that you are looking for a guardian dragon, or I should say the entire process of this meditation and purpose is to find that guardian dragon. So even while you're walking through the woods or the canyon, that vibration is being sent out. So when you come to that clearing and you sit down, you're not only sitting down to look around at your surroundings, you're looking around to see what dragons are there. And usually you're going to find them playing, and whether it be hide and seek, chase, all kinds of things. They'll be rambunctiously running around for sure. And you wait for them to approach you. And they usually will. Honestly, they'll usually approach as a group. And during the guided meditation, it's actually very common. You will feel the much larger, older dragons somewhere nearby, even if you don't see them. And then the same process will happen. You'll go through the Q&A. You'll be talking to this little group of dragons, and one by one, they're going to get bored and wander off until it's just you and one dragon talking. And if you're lucky, that last one will offer to be your guardian dragon. And again, if this style of meditation is something you all are interested in, let me know and I'll do a separate video for that specifically, with no excess intro or nothing. I'll just do the guided meditation. Because otherwise this video is going to get way too long. Now, once you get your guardian dragon, what do? Well, for one, talk to it. Spend time with it. Work with it. Actually have it help you with magic, candle spells, sigil magic. Have it join you in meditation. And communicate with it and talk to it just like you would if you had a friend around you at all times. Now they understand that you can't talk to them out loud in public. In fact, you don't even have to talk out loud to them. Dragons are very, very telepathic. So if you think a thought to them, they will pick up on it. But when you first make that contact, start working on building that relationship and that friendship. Really get to know them. Now, during this process, you may find that dragon sleeping at the foot of your bed, next to your bed, constantly by your door, watching over you, all kinds of things. If you have a cat, I know my guardian dragons, they have chased our cats ever since we got them. I mean, since day one, it was always the cats and the dragons playing, which was hilarious. And even though our cats have passed on, these dragons still do run through the house and play. Now, just to specify, we are talking energetic astral entities. So when they're running through the house, they may disturb something physically very lightly, but we're not talking like an actual horse or something running through the house, or even a Saint Bernard. Though you may see a curtain move or something, unless you have your astral senses trained, it's not likely you're going to see them constantly running around through your house, so you don't have to worry about your neighbors or anything noticing that. Because I have had people be like, wait, are you talking like real dragons running through your house? Well, I am talking real dragons, but we are talking astral entities. I am personally unaware of any dragon that has taken a physical form in the last few hundred years. I'm unaware of it. So, and I would say it's probably been thousands of years since a dragon has took a physical form on this plane. I could be wrong. I don't know for sure. It's not something I've ever pursued knowledge of. But work with them. Let them take part in everything you do, even dinner. They help me cook dinner. I've had them actually suggest ingredients and stuff. I've told them what I'm making, which was absolutely hilarious because I saw the two little dragons actually conjure up their own little stove tops and start making their own pot of gumbo while I was making mine. Listen to music with them. Both of mine love music, so it's not unusual to hear phantom music in my house, and when you do, it's them. They're playing their own music somewhere. Luckily, they've stopped tinkering with my stereo. It used to come on all the time by itself because, well, not by itself. They were turning it on. So, little things like that may happen, and they are playful. So, you may find that they occasionally move an item. Now, unlike the Fae, they're not big on stealing items and hiding them from you, so you don't have to worry too much there. And if they do, it turns up really quickly. I'm talking within 5 minutes of looking for it, they'll make sure it's back where you can find it. But that's not something they do often. More than anything, they'll just move something from one place to the other. But their big thing is they can help you with your practice. They can add power to your practice. And they actually do help guide you along your path. And that's the important part. Your guardian dragon is kind of your introductory person. Anytime you're working with dragons, it's that guardian dragon who will first make the introduction between you and the other dragons. So even though you've set this ritual up to work with the elemental rulers, before you can actually approach the elemental rulers in like evocation or even in full-blown trance work directly, you kind of need that guardian dragon there to help make that introduction. Your co-magician will also function in that aspect to some extent, but more than anything, it does fall to your guardian dragon. So yeah, they're very important to your path in dragon magic, and that's also why you need that guardian dragon to find the co-magician, because a dragon that is old enough to be a co-magician, you're not just going to be able to waltz up and introduce yourself. You're going to need a mediator there, and that's what the little guardian dragon's going to help with. Anyways, go ahead, give this a shot. Good luck finding a guardian dragon. And for those of you who get it on the first try, congratulations. That's awesome. It's always great to hear when that happens. For those of you who it does take 2, 3, or even a few more tries than that, don't get discouraged. Good things do come to those who wait. It's all about finding that guardian dragon that works best with you. And you can do this ritual daily until you find that guardian dragon. Don't worry about that. Also, if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. Drop them below. I'll do my best to answer them. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button. And if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please do hit the subscribe button and make sure you click the notification icon so you're notified anytime we release a new video. We're constantly trying to get new videos up. I also do a podcast, The Magical Coffee Hour, every Sunday at 8 p.m. There's a link below to where you can find us. Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed the video. I hope you all have wonderful success with this ritual. And I hope you find your guardian dragons very soon, and I hope you enjoy working with them. I'm Drake, and this has been Working Dragon Mystic. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.